Okay, I just want to say a lot of people are very lucky today because a few like famous YouTubers and other people like that got to see Spider-Man No Way Home today, and just congratulations, I guess, seeing it early. But I gotta be honest, if I was a famous YouTuber and I got invited to see Spider-Man No Way Home early, I actually think I wouldn't do it because I'd like to feel the good experience for when it actually comes out. And that experience would be just great because everyone will be talking about it and I'll be like, yeah, let's go. I'm not exactly going to see it on the 17th when it comes out, but I'm going to see the 18th the next day, which is not bad. It's still really good. And yeah, neither way, I don't really care what day I watch it. At least I watch it, like, you know. And yeah, so anyway, we're back with another video. Another Spider-Man review video. And yeah, I have, of course, I'm not talking about Spider-Man No Way Home today. I just said that people are very lucky to go see the movie, but, you know, I think I probably would have seen it. If I was offered, I'd go see it on the day it actually comes out. But, yeah, anyway, today we're going to be talking about Spider-Man 3, which, like I said, well, I didn't say, but Spider-Man No Way Home actually is the third movie of Tom Holland's. But, yeah, we're going to be looking at Spider-Man 3, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, a.k.a., yeah, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, I guess. Because, yeah, we've covered the last two movies as well. We've covered Spider-Man and Spider-Man 2. But today we'll be looking at Spider-Man 3, released in 2007. So, I wasn't even born when this movie came out. I wasn't born when any of the movies really came out. But, yeah, so 2007 Spider-Man 3. Let's just get started, guys. If you guys do enjoy, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe for new little bells on this video I upload. But yeah, I know you don't have to do that whatsoever. But yeah, let's just get straight into what my thoughts are about Spider-Man 3. It's absolutely dog water. If you don't know what dog water means, it's absolutely shit. That's what it is. That's like, I guess that's what it means. But there is, even though it might be a little shit, sometimes it has its good moments. It has its flaws, bad flaws. But yeah, it's mostly really bad. This is really mostly bad. It's good though in some ways though. It has really great memes and yeah. So let's just get straight into what I hate and what I like. And yes, there is gonna be a lot of things that I hate. I guess I'll start with what I like first because there is a few things that I like in this movie. Let me just start with, again, Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker Spider-Man is great, but I don't like when he turns emo because I mean I kind of do like when he turns emo. It's one of the biggest memes out there. Bully Maguire, people call him. That's one of the greatest memes of all time, and he does a great job of playing the emo symbiote version of Peter Parker and Spider-Man, I guess I could say. But it's just so cringe, and I just don't like it. But I do at the same time because it's so funny. Like that bit where he's dancing in the street. I heard someone say this. I can't remember who said it, but I'm pretty sure it was I'm pretty sure it was 3C Films. The guy who was like looking at the guy who was telling me about how I got inspired by making these videos. But he said like, I'm pretty sure it was him anyway. But he said that because Peter Parker is kind of a nerd kind of character in the comics and the movies. That's what Peter thinks is cool, dancing and doing all the stuff like going to a jazz club and doing all those dance moves and saying those cringy lines. That's what kind of Peter Parker thinks is cool, but, you know, yeah, it's still cringy in the way. But that dance is so iconic. Everyone loves that dance now. And I can name, like, a bunch of Bully Maguire memes. Like, there's one cut that he says, now dig on this. There's the most iconic one, in my opinion, the most best one of Bully Maguire is, look a little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry. That's like the best meme ever, one of the best memes ever. Another meme in this movie is kind of about, but yeah, still has a bit of, like, you know, I think okay, let me just say what I think it's about. It's Mr. Dickovich and Peter Parker. Emo, Peter Parker, I should say, Bully Maguire. So what happens is, Peter comes home to his apartment, his crappy apartment, and then Mr. Dickovich says, rent. And Peter says, not now. And then, like, you know, Peter then is like he was called Mr. Dickovich says, give me rent. And then Peter's like, you'll get your rent when you fix this damn door. That's like so iconic. I'll play that for you guys because I wasn't like explaining that much. I'll play it if you guys don't know it.
Rent? Not now. Listen, it's a free country. It's not rent-free country.
Leave me alone.
Give me rent.
You'll get your rent when you fix this damn door!
Yeah, this is a very funny scene, and yeah, it's so good. It's so good. Like, Mr. Dickovich again is like really iconic in this movie because of that meme exactly. Because he was like, "Give me rent," and then, yeah, Let me just go over the villains in this movie, which so originally actually there was only supposed to be 2 villains in this movie, but of course it's 3. But the 2 villains that were only supposed to be in this movie were Sandman and Harry Osborn's new Green Goblin, because he wants to get revenge on Spider-Man for killing his father. Well, he didn't actually kill his father, but Harry Osborn thinks that. But yeah, then Sony got involved, and because Sony is good, but they ruined a few things. Let me just say that. But they did well done on producing, well, not producing, but well done on Spider-Man No Way Home and all, and Venom not Big Carnage. But anyway, yeah, Sony got involved, and they said maybe it'd be a good idea to have Venom in the movie, and that's what they did. And Sam Raimi didn't want to have Venom in the movie because he didn't really know anything about Venom that much. So he's like, I don't really want to do a story on a character that I don't know that much. And yeah, but Sony kind of demanded Venom to be in the movie. And yeah, let me just talk about I'll talk about Venom in a few minutes, but let me talk about the villains for a second. So yeah, I think it would be a good idea to put the new Green Goblin, Harry Osborn, in this movie to try kill Peter, because he found out in Spider-Man 2 that Peter Parker was Spider-Man, and he thinks he killed his father. So it would be a good idea to introduce the new Green Goblin into Spider-Man 3. But I really don't know. I really don't like what they do with him. They have 2 fight scenes when he's like, no, he dresses up in the Green Goblin suit 2 times, and he's not using his father's Green Goblin suit, by the way. He's using a different suit, which I actually kind of like, to be honest. But I do not like what they do with Harry Osborn in this movie, because the first fight scene is this is the first fight scene actually. It's Peter's just on a scooter, just living his normal life, and then Harry comes out of nowhere and grabs him off a scooter, and they start battling in the air, fighting in the air, And what they do, it's a good fight scene, because Sam Raimi knows how to do a freaking fight scene, bro. But it's a good fight scene, but I don't like how the fight ends, because the fight ends with Harry bumping his head, and Peter, of course, winning the fight. And I do not like what they do here. They freaking give Harry amnesia. I don't know if I say that right, because I could never say that word right, but they give him freaking memory loss. The only things he can remember is from Spider-Man 1, which I think is so absolutely garbage. Why would they do that? That just ruins his character. So yeah, he doesn't remember Peter being Spider-Man. He doesn't remember... Well, no, he does remember his dad's death, but... Yeah, and he remembers he liked MJ before. And he remembered that they were a couple once. And he remembered that... Yeah, he kind of went back to normal. Peter was his best friend again. And... Yeah, I do not like what they did with him. Why would they give him amnesia? No, they shouldn't have done that. They should have just made him a villain and a possible threat for Peter in the movie. But they're just oh no, let's just take Harry out of the freaking movie whatsoever. Just just give him memory loss. Because you kind of want to focus on Sandman and the symbiote. And okay, let me just talk about Sandman, by the way. The actor, great cast choice. I actually really like the actor. The way he looks, the way he turns in the sand looks so cool. The visual effects look so cool in this movie. But I do not like what they did with Sandman in this movie. So they actually made Sandman, or his real name is Flint Marko. I do not like what they did with him. They made Flint Marko, aka Sandman, Uncle Ben's true killer. I don't know why they do that. And Sandman actually killed Uncle Ben by an accident, because his partner grabbed onto his shoulder by an accident, and that made him pull the trigger on Uncle Ben, and Uncle Ben dies, of course. Why couldn't they keep Carradine as the actual killer? Because, it was never Flint Marko in the comics or anything. It was always Carradine that killed Uncle Ben, and the actual, Carradine actually killed Uncle Ben on purpose in the comics. But Flint Marko actually does it by an accident. He's like, oh, I'm sorry for shooting you, but I'm going to steal your car now. But, no, I don't like that. Why would they do that? They just ruined Spider-Man's origins. They should have just kept it as Carradine killed Uncle Ben, and Flint Marko. I would have even liked it if they didn't even make Flint Marko Carradine's partner. But I actually wouldn't have even minded if Flint Marko was still Carradine's partner. But yeah, they make him for some reason Uncle Ben's true killer. I hate that. And then that's what makes Peter... Peter learns the truth about it, and that's what makes him emo, because he's so mad about Sandman. And then we get to, one of the worst villains of all time in any movie. Well, Tom Hardy's Venom is good, but yeah, when we're talking about, I don't know the actor's name, because, yeah, I don't really like the actor either. He's a pretty bad interpretation of Eddie Brock. But, yes, the symbiote just is introduced in this movie, of course, because I told you guys Venom was in this movie. And of course, just like the comics, the symbiote bonds with Peter Parker first instead of Eddie Brock. Well, actually, in one of the comics, the symbiote actually bonds with Deadpool. If you guys didn't know, that's a fun fact. And then Spider-Man later finds it. But yeah. What's called? So the symbiote is one. This is one of the most dumbest introductions to a like villain ever. So MJ and Peter are just on a web, and they're just like because they're a couple now, they're kissing and all, and they're having a romantic night. And out of nowhere, a shooting star just drops by them, and that's how the symbiote introduces. They drive off on their scooter, and the symbiote just latches onto Peter's scooter behind him. That's such a bad introduction to a villain. Why? Like the symbiote just comes out of nowhere. Like people say that the symbiote is looking for the most powerful person on Earth, but that's why it landed near Peter. But I think that's kind of bullcrap. That's just bullcrap. Like. Because I'm pretty sure Doctor Strange is also in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, because he was mentioned in Spider-Man 2. And, yeah, but I think that's just stupid that the symbiote just lands right next to Peter. Like, that's so stupid. And, yeah, I do not like Venom in this movie either. Like, he's so crap. MJ, again, boring character, because she gets kidnapped at the end of the movie again. And, yeah, J. Jonah Jameson, great again in this movie. He's so good. Like, still love J. Jonah Jameson. And, yeah, that's, good things in it. Let me talk about Bully Maguire, I guess I could say. Yeah, when the symbiote comes really late, actually, they have the symbiote come, like, really late into the movie to bond with Peter. But, yeah, I actually do like the symbiote suit though that Peter wears in this movie, but okay, let me just talk about Bully Maguire last. I guess I could say, and let me talk about some of the fight scenes. I guess so. I talked about the Peter versus the new Green Goblin already. Let me talk to one of the second freaking fight scenes in this movie is Spider-Man versus Sandman. And I actually really do like the how Sandman how Flint Marko became Sandman and all. I'll get to his origins, how I like him in a minute. But yeah, so Sandman is trying to rob what's called a truck full of money, because this is something I actually do like about Sandman. I'll talk about it now. The reason Sandman is trying to rob money and like kind of do evil things is because he's trying to raise money for his sick daughter, and like he wants to get money to make her feel better and all like that, and his wife or something. I think it was his wife or girlfriend. I don't know if his wife or girlfriend, but I'll just say his wife for now. But his wife just didn't want him in the house seeing his daughter, and it's kind of sad actually, because I do like what they did with Sandman, but again, there's kind of I don't think they should have made him Uncle Ben's true killer, but I do like what they did with him, especially in Spectacular Spider-Man. They did it with him as well, but in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, they just wanted Sandman to be actually a good guy, but the only reason he's trying to rob money is for his sick daughter, which I think that's really like nice and all. He's not a bad person. He's not trying to hurt anyone. Just wants to get money for his sick daughter. But he accidentally again shoots Uncle Ben, which I think is kind of a dumb choice to make for the writers of the movie. But yeah, I do like what they did with Sandman with his daughter and all, though. He's just trying to get money for his daughter. And yeah, anyway, let me just go back to the fight scene between the both of them then. So yeah, Spider-Man actually does a lot. Actually, this is actually a pretty good fight scene actually, because like I said before, Sam Raimi knows how to do a really good fight scenes. And yeah, I love how they meet. Actually, it's so good because Peter goes like, "Jigs up, pal," and then Sandman's like, "I don't want to hurt you," and all. And then because Peter thinks he's just a regular thug, because he doesn't see that he has Sam powers yet. Because he thinks he's a regular thug, he just tries to like, yeah, I'm the sheriff around these parts, so you can't hurt me, like, And then he just punches Sandman, but his hand goes through his body, and he's like, what the hell? And then Sandman just grows a freaking hammer out of his hand, because with sand, of course, and then he just hits him out of the truck, and then Peter's just like, what the hell just happened? And yeah, I really like that scene where they first meet and all. And yeah, let me talk about a dick move in this movie again. There was like a dick move in the last movie as well. Why? Okay, at the Spider-Man festival thing, not like when they're going to give the key to the city to Spider-Man. Why does Peter do this? MJ's at the festival, and he wants to propose to her, Yeah, because Peter actually wants to. Sorry, I didn't tell you guys, but Peter actually wants to propose to MJ in this movie. Why does he do the upside down kiss with Gwen Stacy? Because he does that with MJ in the first movie, and it's like one of the most iconic scenes of all time. And he does that in front of MJ with Gwen Stacy. Like, that's such a dick move by Peter. And I don't really like why they did that, because that's kind of not that in the comics. I don't think Peter Parker would actually do that. It's not kind of something Peter would do. And yeah, it's like he knows MJ was watching, like, and because Harry has amnesia, he's just like, yeah, that's a cute moment, isn't there, MJ? But MJ's just like, but yeah, but yeah, I don't think Peter would do that. I guess I could talk about, what could I talk about now? Oh yeah, Aunt May is good in this movie. Yeah. Eddie Brock had bad in this movie. I said that before. I think I was actually on MJ's side in this movie, because, like I said, I didn't like Peter actually doing the upside down kiss with Gwen Stacy, and I don't really like how they introduced Gwen Stacy just out of nowhere. They could have like mentioned her in the first movie or anything, because she's supposedly one of Peter's best friends, but we never heard of her before in this universe. And yeah, so I kind of on MJ's side in this movie, because like Peter did the dick move in this movie, and MJ Peter was about to propose to her at the dinner party, or not a dinner party, like at a restaurant, a French restaurant actually, and yeah, because MJ is mad about the upside down kiss with Gwen at the festival, so she kind of leaves Peter there by himself, but she doesn't break up with him fully yet, and yeah, and then a few minutes later, Peter Parker learns about Sandman actually killing Uncle Ben. And yeah, okay, let me talk to you guys about Bully Maguire, I guess, and the symbiote, when the symbiote bonds with Peter. So yeah, bonds with Peter, and then another iconic scene comes up where Peter just I kind of don't understand. Actually, never mind. I do understand how he gets on top of a building, because the symbiote can take control of people's bodies. So. But yeah, he's just looking, Peter's hanging upside down on his web, and you can see that he has a black suit on. He's like, how do I have this power? Why did I get into this suit? Because, the symbiote makes people stronger, if you didn't know that, and it makes people faster, and more, I guess you could say, it gives you, the symbiote suit gives you aggression, and it makes you really angry, because the symbiote feeds off angry emotions. That's how it survives, if you didn't know that. And yeah, so Peter doesn't start off angry or aggressive at first, but he's like, oh my god, I have so much power. And then he swings around in the black suit, he's like, this is something else, and then, yeah, that's a good scene when he finds out that he has a black suit on. And yeah, and then I also like the scene, again, I do kind of like MJ in this movie, but she's still kind of boring, but MJ comes over to Peter's apartment to see if he's doing okay, because she knows that he found out Uncle Ben's true killer. And she doesn't want him to do anything stupid, so she tries to like talk him out of like not getting revenge, because revenge is a terrible thing. And yeah, but of course, because Peter has the symbiote suit now, his anger grows for Sandman, so he does want to like beat the living shit out of Sandman. So yeah, so again, one of my favorite fight scenes of all time comes up. Actually, for some reason I really like this fight scene. What happens when what's called. So Peter sees that Sandman is robbing bank like money again. He hears on the radio, and then he grabs his black suit, goes to where Sandman is robbing, and then he knows that he's in the sewer, so he tries to open the sewer pipe thing or drain, and he tries to go in the sewers. But Eddie Brock is there, and he's like, Spidey, love the new outfit. Because oh yeah, I forgot to mention Eddie Brock and Peter Parker are trying to get a picture of Spider-Man doing evil stuff to get like a job at the Daily Bugle. And yeah, so that's why that's why Peter probably destroys his camera. And yeah, so he's like, when he destroys Eddie Brock's camera, he's like, see it, champ. And that's a great meme as well. What was I gonna say? I was gonna say something. What was I gonna freaking say? Oh, I hate when that happens, when you're saying something and you forget, when you're thinking of something but you forget what you're gonna say. I'll just move on. But yeah, he says, see it, jump, and then jumps into the sewer place. And then Eddie Brock was like, what the hell? And that's why I kind of do like that they grow his like hate for Peter Parker and Spider-Man. Of course, Eddie Brock doesn't know he's Spider-Man yet, but like what Eddie Brock is trying to do is he's trying to get a picture of Spider-Man being evil. That's how, and Peter Parker's kind of his competition. That's why he hates Peter. But of course, he later goes on to hate Peter even more because Peter makes Eddie lose his job. And yeah, and then he grows hate for Spider-Man because he destroyed his camera and could have destroyed his I guess job as well, I guess. But yeah, so then Spider-Man goes into the sewer to find Sandman, and I think it's really cool because he's wearing a black suit, he blends into the environment because it's so dark down there that Sandman couldn't see him on the roof. And then he comes out of nowhere and he's like, "Remember Ben Parker, the old man you shot down in cold blood?" And he's like, "What does it matter to you anyway?" And then he's like, "Everything." And then they have a great brawl, and it's so freaking epic. They do beat the living shit out of each other here, but I think Spider-Man beats the living shit out of Sandman kind of here. I know kind of Sandman. I actually don't really know why Sandman is kind of an underrated character. Well, I mean, he's not that underrated, but Sandman's actually pretty powerful. He's literally made out of sand, because how can you even hurt sand? I don't even know how Spider-Man can actually stop Sandman sometimes, but Anyway, but yeah, another painful thing that happens, by the way, is Spider-Man's swinging at Sandman, and then Sandman grows his leg made out of sand and kicks Peter in the freaking balls. I know how that feels. I literally know how that feels. If you're a boy, you probably know how that feels as well. But yeah, that looks so painful. And it has some great visuals in this fight scene as well, when Spider-Man punches Sandman, and a bit of Sandman's face comes off and it just turns into sand. And yeah, it's so epic. And then how they finish the fight is Spider-Man grabs a pipe full of water, and then he lets out the water out of the pipe, and then he supposedly kills Sandman with the water because water is one of Sand's weakness, and yeah, it makes Sandman turn into Mudman, and okay, sorry about that joke, but yeah, and then because Peter has the symbiote suit on, that makes him kind of evil, because when he thinks that he kills Sandman, he does a really evil thing and says, "Good riddance." And what? Why did I say why did I say it like that? I was supposed to say good riddance. Wait, my voice is cracking. Oh my god, my voice is cracking. Oh, okay, my voice is cracking when I do emo voices. That was so cringe, sorry. But yeah, anyway, and then when he thinks he kills Sandman, he goes to Aunt May's house to tell him good news. But then again, Ant-Man, did I say Ant-Man? I'm pretty sure I said Ant-Man. I meant Aunt May, not Ant-Man. Anyway, he goes to Aunt May's house to tell her that that Spider-Man killed Sandman, Uncle Ben, true killer. But then again, Aunt May, gives Peter some inspirational advice again, just like the second movie, what happened last movie. She says that Spider-Man doesn't kill people, and no one deserves to die for even if they've done any bad things. And then that teaches Peter to put away the suit for a bit. And then yeah, Aunt May give him another inspirational life lesson there. And yeah, so another sad thing as well, when we see Sandman rise again, we see him, he's not dead. We see him get his Kieran thing, his little picture of his daughter that his daughter actually gives to him to keep memory of her and all. And yeah, that's kind of cute. But well, what happened next? It's such a forgettable movie. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, I guess I could talk about the MJ and Harry Osborn relationship again, because Harry Osborn has memory loss now from all the way back from Spider-Man 1. He only remembers Spider-Man 1 things. He remembers that MJ and him used to be a couple, so he tries to flirt with MJ again, and they kind of kiss a little, and then MJ walks out of the Oscorp place, the Oscorp mansion, I guess you could say. And then yeah, then Harry Osborn gets a little flashback. Well, not a flashback. It's actually it's a vision actually. He sees his father in his dad. He sees his dad in the mirror. It's not real though. His dad is dead again, just of course. And then his dad tries to make him remember that what his mission was is that Peter is Spider-Man. And then the freaking hallucination of his dad tells him to finish the job and kill Peter, because now you know the truth again. and then the mirror breaks again, and then he finds the goblin stuff, and he remembers that Peter was the enemy and not his friend. But of course, his dad is actually lying because, yeah. And then, it's called Harry Osborn dresses up in the new Green Goblin suit again because he remembers all the stuff again, and he doesn't have memory loss anymore. So what he does is he tries to yes, MJ gets in danger here. He threatens MJ, saying to break up with Peter, and because I actually do like Harry Osborn's plan here. He wants to, before he tries to kill Peter, he tries to break his heart first. Kind of what Norman Osborn did in the first movie, because what Norman did in the first movie, he tried to kill MJ, he tried to kill Aunt May, he tried to kill little children, and yeah, that's what Green Goblin in the first movie tried to do. He tried to strike Spider-Man's heart, so he would feel guilty about people's deaths and all. And that's what Harry is actually trying to do in this movie, which I really like, because it's a very threatening thing a villain can do. But yeah, anyway, Harry Osborn threatens MJ to break up with Peter, and then MJ does break up with Peter, but she didn't want that first, but she does break up with Peter. And yeah, so that because Peter is in anger again, he turns emo again, so he gets in the black suit again. I said it again like so many times there. And then I can't actually remember much about the movie. I'm so sorry. Oh yeah. Wait. Yeah. So I'll talk about the Peter Parker and Harry Osborn meet up at the cafe. So Harry says they want to meet Peter at the cafe, and then they're both having coffee, and a cringy moment is when the girl comes up to Harry and says, "How's the pie?" And he's like, "So good." And that's like so cringy. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, Peter arrives at the cafe to talk, and they're like, "How's things?" And yeah, friends forever. And Peter doesn't know that he gained all memories back and all. But then Harry Osborn confirms that he has all his memories back again, saying that, because MJ said to Peter that there's another guy that she loves. And then Harry Osborn says, "I'm the other guy." And Peter's like, "What? What are you talking about?" And then, Harry Osborn says, MJ and him are back together, and then that makes Peter, really pissed. So he leaves the cafe, gets in his black suit, and goes to Harry Osborn's house and beats the living shit out of each other. I guess I could say Peter beats the living shit out of him, because, I mean, there is some times when Harry, gets some hits on Peter, but literally, Peter just beats the crap out of people in this movie. I kind of like it, but yeah, another great fight scene between Peter Parker and Harry Osborn. Peter's not even in a Spider-Man suit. He has a Spider-Man suit under his jacket. He's just Peter Parker fighting Spider-Man. I mean, Peter. Well, he's Peter Parker fighting Harry Osborn. So yeah, they have a fight, and then Peter Parker wins the fight, of course, and Harry Osborn's all bruised up and all. He's like, he says, "You gonna kill me like you killed my father?" And then Peter's like, "I'm done trying to convince you." And then Harry says, "You took him from me. He loved me." And then this is when full Bully Maguire comes out. But he literally bullies Harry Osborn here. He's like, "No, he despised you. You were an embarrassment to him." And he's like, "Oh, look, a little Goblin Jr. Gonna cry?" And that's just the look on Harry's face when he says that your father despised you. The look on Harry's face is just kind of sad, because he's like, "He despised me?" And then Harry gets up to try just to try get one more hit on Peter, but then Peter hits him back to the ground. And then yeah, again Harry tries to get one more hit on the floor this time. He picks up one of his pumpkin bombs, throws it at Peter. I think this is a really brutal scene. So Peter, because of Peter's spider sense, he webs the bomb and throws it back at Harry, and then it blows up in Harry's face. And yeah, he just walks off, and Peter just feels really proud about what he did. He's like, "Yes, I did beat the crap out of my childhood friend. Let's go." just the normal life of Spider-Man, I guess. Yeah, then he's just walking the streets, and this is when another iconic meme comes up as well, where he sees a picture of Spider-Man trying to rob the bank, but of course it's a fake picture by Eddie Brock, and then he sees it was by Eddie Brock, and he says, "I'm gonna put some dirt in your eye." And it's it's really iconic. It's such a great meme. And yeah, so Peter goes to the Daily Bugle, and he recognizes that the picture Eddie put in the newspaper that was fake is one of Peter's old pictures before, that Eddie Brock stole. And he he freaking makes Eddie lose his job because he showed it to the Daily Bugle and J. Jonah Jameson and all that the pictures were fake. And then Brock gets fired, and then Peter's like feeling so proud. He gets on like Jameson's seat and all. He's eating candy. He flirts with Betty Brant for a bit, and he's like, yeah, life's good. And yeah, and then that's when Eddie goes to the church because Peter said if you want forgiveness, get religion. And yeah, so Eddie goes to the church and he asks if God can heal Peter Parker. And of course, before I get to the church scene, actually, let me get to the jazz club scene because oh yeah, also Eddie Brock hates Peter even more now. But yeah, so Peter's trying to but when Eddie Brock loses his job, Peter goes around the streets dancing and all, doing his emo dance. One of the most cringiest scenes in this movie. But he just goes around trying to look for for a girlfriend, but everyone's weirded out by his dance move, so they just try to back away from him. And yeah, so then he remembers that he has his friend Gwen Stacy, so he takes her to the jazz club, and then a kind of stupid thing is that MJ's working at the jazz club, which I don't know, that'd be kind of a coincidence, but they stay anyway. And then because Peter sees MJ at the jazz club, he tries to win her back, I guess you could say, because he's feeling if you didn't know, also the symbiote suit makes you really confident and all, and makes you really like cocky. And that's why Peter tries to get MJ back, because, he thinks that singing and all is cool. He's like, yeah, I can win her back with singing and dancing. And, yeah, it absolutely feels, because, he does get, people do clap and all, but then Gwen Stacy says you were doing that all for her, MJ, so she leaves the building, and MJ is just like, I don't know what to say, because that was kind of cringy. Then, people ask Peter, like, some people that work at the jazz club come over to Peter and say to leave. Because Peter had the symbiote suit, that makes him really angry. He's like, no. And then he starts beating the shit out of everyone in the jazz club, and they can't get at Peter. Then MJ tries to stop him, and then this is a really brutal scene. MJ, she tries to stop Peter from hurting everyone in the jazz club, but Peter freaking punches MJ in the face. It's by an accident, but I don't like that. Why would Peter Parker? I know he has the symbiote suit on, but I don't think Peter Parker would do that even if he had the symbiote suit on. Like, he feels so guilty after it though, but yeah, he feels so guilty that he dresses up in his Spiderman outfit and he goes to the church where Eddie Brock is quit instantly at. And so he thinks that the suit is changing him, so he tries to take it off, and he uses the bell, of course, because the symbiote's weaknesses are loud sounds and fire, and he tries to get the symbiote off with the bell because it makes loud noises, of course. And then he successfully takes the suit off, and Eddie Brock becomes Venom, which is the worst Venom of all time. Yeah, it looks so bad. Venom looks so bad in this movie. He's so bad. But yeah, anyway, Peter feeling guilty that he punched MJ, and he gets back in his, he tells Aunt May about it, and another a dumb thing in this movie. That happens in every movie. Peter Parker finds out that Venom and Sandman have kidnapped MJ again. This is the 5th time she's gotten kidnapped. Oh my god, just stop getting kidnapped, MJ. But yeah, anyway, I forgot to say that Venom finds Sandman and recruits him. So yeah, that's cool. But another thing I don't understand is, how does Venom know that he's trying to help his sick daughter? Because Peter, how Eddie Brock knew Sandman? Because the symbiote, whoever, let me just say, it's hard to explain, but just say that the symbiote bonded with me, and let's just say I love Marvel, which I do love Marvel. The symbiote will be able to read my mind, and let's just say it goes on to bonds with a different person. Then the symbiote could say to the other person that I love Marvel, and that's my secret, I guess. And then that's how Venom knows Sandman, because Peter fought him and all that with the black suit before. But what I don't get is, how does Venom know that what's called Sandman is trying to help his sick daughter? Because Peter Parker never knew that, so I don't know why Venom would know that. But it's dumb anyway. No, I don't see many people talking about that scene, but what's called, so yeah, and MJ gets kidnapped by Venom and Sandman. Peter has to go rescue her, but before he does that, he gets back in his red and blue suit, goes over to Harry Osborn's house and asks for forgiveness. But we see Harry's face, and his face is all blown up and all. It looks so dirty, But then out of nowhere, another stupid scene, Harry's butler comes up to him and says, Yeah, your father kind of killed himself, and Peter actually didn't kill your father. Why did you say that to him now? You could have said that to him in Spider-Man 2 or like Spider-Man 1, because Harry's butler knew that his father like kind of killed himself because by an accident, because you know he was trying to fight Spider-Man and all. Like, why would he tell him that now? Like, he got his freaking face blew up because of you, Bernard. That's his butler's name. And why? Like, I just don't get why he wouldn't tell him in Spider-Man 1. He's like, I feel like this was the best time to tell you. No, it's not. He took a bomb to the face, dude. Oh my god. But yeah, anyway, we have a fight scene this is the last fight scene of the movie where Spider-Man versus Venom and Sandman, and Venom reveals to himself that it's Eddie Brock with the symbiote now, and then they have a little fight, and yeah, then when Sandman is about to kill Spider-Man, a pumpkin bomb goes into Sandman's head, I guess you could say. And then Sandman explodes, and we find out that it was Harry Osborn in his new Green Goblin suit, coming to save Peter. And then yeah, I love the scene because seeing them friends again. It's so like such a good scene where they just reunite and all, and they're like, you know, I'm sorry for saying those mean things and hurting you and all. And then they're just like, yeah, let's just team up against these losers, and then they like kick the ass out. They like kick Sandman and Venom's ass, like, and so it's such a good scene where they just reunite as friends again. And so to save MJ, kind of, I guess, but she's still in the building, I guess you could say. Yeah, so another sad thing is Venom's about to kill Spider-Man, but again Harry Osborn comes in with the save and gets impaled by the glider. And I really like how they killed off Harry Osborn in this movie, because that's how Harry Osborn's dad dies. He died. The Osborns both died by their own glider, and I think that's a really good way to kill off Harry Osborn. But it's still a sad scene. So anyway, Sandman's nowhere to be seen, and it's basically just Spider-Man versus Venom now. And Peter remembers that sound hurts the symbiote, and he uses metal pipes to make sound to defeat the symbiote. And then he gets Eddie Brock out of the symbiote, and he picks up one of Harry's pumpkin bombs, and throws a bomb at the symbiote to try to explode it. But because Eddie Brock loves the symbiote, because you know that's what the symbiote does to you, Eddie tries to jump into the symbiote again to try to save it, but then they both blow up and they both die. So yeah, and then Sandman actually comes up to Peter and says, "I'm sorry for killing your uncle," and he says it was only an accident. And he tells Peter the real story, and how he killed him by an accident. And then Peter's like, I forgive you, which I think is a really beautiful scene, that he lets Sandman go and forgives him and all, because accidents happen. He's like, I've done terrible things too and all. And then Sandman just goes away. And I think it was sad as well. We don't even know if Sandman gets the money to save his daughter or not. Like, that's sad. That's sad as well that we didn't even find out that information. But yeah. Anyway, Peter goes to Harry Osborn's body. Well, he's not really dead yet, but MJ's already there, just crying and all. And then Peter and Harry said to each other, "I'm sorry for saying those mean things," and that they were best friends and all. And yeah, Harry Osborn dies, I guess, and then the movie ends with a funeral. And then usually Spider-Man movies and these Spider-Man movies end with a final swing, like Spider-Man 1 ended with a final swing in the city. Spider-Man 2 ended with a final swing, but this one stops with MJ and Peter dancing together. They get back together again, and yeah, that's the end of the movie. It's a really bad movie, guys, but it has its good moments, I guess. So yeah, guys, that was Tobey Maguire, aka that was Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. That's all the 3 movies he has. There was supposed to be Spider-Man 4 with Vulture in it, but that never happened because of Sony and all like that. But yeah, I give this movie I actually give this movie a 6 out of 10. It's not it has good moments in it, but it's still pretty bad. So yeah, guys, probably tomorrow I will be doing Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man, also created by Mark Webb. If you guys did enjoy this video though, make sure to smash the like button and subscribe if you need the little bell to miss no video I upload, and you don't have to do that whatsoever. I love you guys, see you in the next video, peace.